Every Sunday night, I used to dread opening my spreadsheets. Hours of manually pulling data, calculating ratios, and writing the same analysis. Then I discovered Claude AI could do it all. Today, I am going to walk you through exactly how I automated my entire financial analysis workflow with a real example you can replicate. Forget spreadsheets, this AI does your financial thinking for you. Here's the brutal reality, you are spending a full workday each week just gathering numbers. That's time stolen from strategy, from growth. The pattern clearly indicates these manual tasks aren't just tedious, they're a bottleneck holding you back. What this means is your most valuable asset, your analysis, gets buried under sheer data collection. You can feel it, the growing dread every Monday, knowing you'll be chained to that screen for hours. The key insight is that your sharpest ideas are fading because your energy is spent on mechanical updates. That brilliant analysis should be your focus, not this soul-crushing scramble for the latest figures. Every single report feels like a copy-paste prison. You are not analyzing, you are just retyping. The pattern is clear. Your unique strategic thinking is getting buried under repetitive formatting and data entry. Here's what's really happening. You are trading high-value insight for low-value busy work, and that brilliant analysis is being wasted on manual assembly. You know that sinking feeling when you spot a mistake after everything's been finalized? That error isn't just a number. It is lost trust and credibility. The reality is, a single miscalculation in a complex ratio can alter an entire investment recommendation. Your expertise deserves better than living in fear of the next decimal point you might misplace. That strategic thinking you are chasing, it is being stolen. While you are trapped in spreadsheets, someone with the same data is already making decisions. That's the real problem. Your value isn't in data entry, it's in analysis. Yet the manual grind makes you an expensive calculator, not the expert you are paid to be. What if this single prompt slashed your entire financial analysis workload? Think of Claude not as just another tool, but as the central command center for your entire financial workflow. Instead of you chasing down data and cross-referencing reports, Claude acts as the coordinating intelligence that brings every piece together, analyzes the connections, and delivers the critical insights, all from a single, intelligent hub. This is about eliminating manual data entry entirely. Instead of wasting hours collecting and reconciling numbers, the system now pulls live data directly into a format Claude can instantly analyze. What this means is that your raw financial information arrives pre-structured, ready for intelligence to be applied, turning a week's work into a background process. This architecture transforms how you interact with financial data. You move from general questions to targeted, template instructions. The key insight is that Claude delivers vastly more precise analysis when prompted with a specific framework, like discounted cash flow or quarterly trend comparison. This is the difference between getting raw data and getting a finished, executive-grade report. The pattern clearly indicates Claude's unique power. It does not just calculate numbers. It weaves them into a coherent, actionable business story. You are not getting disconnected figures, you are receiving a narrative that explains the why behind the data, turning abstract financial models into compelling strategic arguments for your stakeholders. Here's the decisive advantage. Your analysis becomes the presentation. Claude structures the output with professional headings, bullet points, and executive summaries by default. You receive a polished document ready for immediate review, eliminating that final, tedious formatting step and delivering actionable intelligence at the speed of thought. This AI just automated my entire weekly finance job. The key insight here is that manual data gathering is now obsolete. What this means is that with structured API calls, your financial data can be pulled, sorted, and formatted automatically. The pattern clearly indicates a massive shift from reactive collection to proactive, real-time data feeds, giving you a permanent information advantage. Everyone focuses on the API. That's the wrong battle. The real breakthrough is teaching Claude to think like an accountant. Instead of just fetching data, it now understands a balance sheet's logic. You are not building a data pipeline, you are embedding financial expertise directly into the process, which is what creates true automation. Think of that messy inbox, full of inconsistent spreadsheets and PDFs. That's where automation fails. So the first, critical step is forcing order into that chaos. You design a simple but rigid template for every report. You are creating a predictable language. This discipline is what allows Claude to consistently and correctly read the financial story you need it to tell. Let's pause right here. This is your automation breaking point. If the data is inconsistent, everything that follows will be wrong. That rigid template. It is not just a format. It's your first and most important command to the AI. Without this discipline, you are building on sand. Get this foundation perfect. What happens when data isn't there? You need a rule. Instruct the AI to calculate missing values using the average of surrounding data points. This isn't guesswork. It is an intelligent estimation that maintains the dataset's statistical integrity, ensuring every automated calculation downstream is built on solid ground, not a flawed assumption. What if your financial advisor is about to be automated? Think your spreadsheet formulas are advanced? They are manual. A true analysis engine transforms raw data into strategic insight on command. The key breakthrough is designing prompts that act as specialized financial logic, one for risk assessment, another for valuation. This isn't about a single question, it is about building a system that thinks like your entire team. Now, we teach Claude the language of finance itself. This is where we go from simple queries to commanding a true financial copilot. We are embedding complex ratios, valuation models, and regulatory frameworks directly into its reasoning. The result? It does not just retrieve data, it analyzes with the precision of a seasoned CFO. Think of this step as giving your copilot a calibrated instrument panel. We are not just feeding it numbers. We are installing a complete financial analysis in its mind. You will teach it to compare your position against the entire market, transforming raw figures into a clear competitive assessment in seconds. Forget generic trend reports. We are building prompts that detect financial tremors before they become earthquakes. The pattern clearly indicates that market leaders focus on relative velocity, not static position. What this means is you'll spot the subtle deceleration in a growing segment, the hidden signal competitors are completely blind to. So, how do you build this early warning system? You teach the AI the difference between healthy growth and smoke before the fire. We need prompts that do not just read numbers, but read the story between the numbers. The key insight is moving from passive data review to an active, investigative interrogation of every line item. What if finance automation was about insight, not just data entry? So you are about to witness something truly powerful. We are feeding live financial data into Claude, comparing Apple, Google, and Microsoft. The key insight here isn't the raw numbers, but the competitive narratives Claude uncovers from them. You are not getting a spreadsheet, you are getting a strategic assessment instantly. What you typically wait hours for, we've compressed into moments. While others show you columns of numbers, the real story is in the ratios. Claude isn't just calculating, it's instantly revealing who is managing debt versus fueling growth. You are seeing a fundamental competitive analysis, not just arithmetic, delivered in plain English. Think all those ratios are confusing noise. The power is in the story they tell. A high PE isn't just expensive, it is a growth bet the market is making. Claude instantly decodes this, explaining whether a stock's price reflects future innovation or is just overheated hype. You get the analyst's insight, not just the raw math. Here's the reveal: Claude does not just list companies side by side. It isolates the narrative outliers, the undervalued innovators buried in the data and the overhyped names trading on momentum alone. The comparative analysis hands you the specific, actionable opportunities hidden within the noise. That's how you move from raw data to a clear investment edge. But Claude goes further. It highlights the critical red flags within that narrative, pinpointing specific risks that could undermine a stock's apparent strength. This is your early warning system, surfacing the hidden vulnerabilities in a company's story before they impact your portfolio. You are not just identifying opportunities, you are stress testing them. I ditched spreadsheets for an AI that uncovered hidden financial risks. But then what? You have got these raw insights, now who's going to make sense of them for your leadership? This is the critical step where Claude moves beyond analysis. It takes all the findings and structures them into a clear, concise executive summary, transforming complex data into a decision-ready story. Now you have a narrative, not just numbers. So, we move to a crucial transition. The data is processed, the insights are clear, but now we must translate them into persuasive action. The key insight is that Claude synthesizes these findings into descriptive, narrative summaries for any visualization directly within your report. This means leadership immediately grasps the strategic implications, turning analysis into an undeniable call to act. This final output isn't just a list, it is a strategic distillation. These bullets translate raw performance data into direct, unambiguous recommendations. What this means is that every decision maker, from the boardroom to the front lines, receives the precise signal needed to move. You are delivering executive-level clarity instantly. That's just reporting. The real edge is creating urgency. Your analysis must prescribe the next action with such clarity that hesitation is impossible. You are not summarizing data, you are drafting the agenda for the next leadership meeting. The insight becomes the instruction. That's how you turn information into immediate operational change. Now, you have a decision-ready report. That 3-minute automation did not just save time. It liberated your focus to do what the manual work always consumed: thinking. The insight is now the instruction, creating immediate momentum. Your analysis isn't just delivered, it's already being acted upon because its clarity demands it. Think financial analysts are safe from AI? Not anymore. Now, those are not just numbers on a slide. This is the complete redefinition of a work week. What this means is that a full day's analytical workload collapses into a single coffee break. The key insight is that this isn't about working faster, it is about fundamentally changing what's possible with the time you have just reclaimed. The data reveals something profound. It is not a slight edge, it is the elimination of the very concept of manual error. The pattern clearly indicates that we are moving from verifying calculations to interpreting strategic outcomes. Here's what's really happening. This accuracy frees your mental capacity entirely, shifting your role from calculator to analyst permanently. You think correlation is predictable, but the data says otherwise. The key insight is a hidden multiplier effect between operational costs and client retention. What this means is that by automating discovery, you are not just saving time, you are uncovering the secret levers of profitability that manual analysis would have missed for years. But what's the true magnitude of that discovery? The pattern clearly indicates a staggering leap, analyzing 10 times the volume of companies in the same time frame. You are not just working faster, you are unlocking a level of market intelligence that was previously impossible, fundamentally changing your strategic position overnight. Think of it this way, you have been tinkering with a small flashlight in a dark room. Suddenly, you are handed the controls to the main stage lights, illuminating the entire theater. The key insight is that you are no longer searching for information. You are now orchestrating it, seeing connections and strategic moves that were completely hidden before. What if the next analyst a bank hires is just this AI? What this means is moving from reactive reports to intelligent signals. The key insight is creating triggers for critical financial boundaries like capital ratios or liquidity levels, so the system flags risk immediately. Here's what's really happening, you are no longer hunting for problems, the workflow delivers them directly to you, enabling proactive decisions the moment your metrics shift. This is where financial foresight is built. You are training the AI to recognize not just your past, but the trajectory it creates. What this means is identifying the leading indicators, those subtle shifts in accounts receivable or inventory turnover that signal a future cash crunch or growth spurt weeks before it hits the books. Think basic analysis like checking the weather. What we are doing now is like teaching the AI to understand the entire climate, interest rates, consumer trends, geopolitical shifts. The key insight is this: your company does not operate in a vacuum. This external context turns raw data into true strategic intelligence, revealing hidden risks and opportunities your competitors will miss. Now, here's the contrarian truth. Generic templates are useless. Real strategy demands ruthless customization. Instead of just plugging data in, we must engineer templates that are built exclusively for your industry's unique pressure points. That specificity is what lets Claude AI spot the inflection points others dismiss, delivering actionable intelligence. But how do you know what to focus on? The secret isn't more data, it is the right comparison. This means automatically analyzing your direct competitors. You tell Claude their metrics, and it will continuously track them against yours, highlighting exactly where you are losing ground or where an opening is emerging. It builds the competitive landscape for you. Forget everything you know about AI, it just automated my finance job. Think of it like a self-driving car. The AI can handle the road, but you must still set the destination and watch for unexpected hazards. Blind trust in its route could lead to a costly detour. The key insight is that AI executes the how, but you must always govern the why behind every critical financial assumption. You feed it vague prompts, and you will get generic fluff. That's not analysis, it is intellectual fast food. Your prompt is the blueprint. If your instructions are shallow, its conclusions will be shallow. What this means is the quality of your output is a direct mirror of the rigor you demand in the input. The biggest hidden danger is feeding flawed data into an automated system. The pattern clearly indicates that these errors get amplified with every step, corrupting your entire analysis. What this means is your automation does not just speed up work, it accelerates bad decisions if the source data is unreliable. Your entire model's integrity depends on this single point. So, you have got clean data. But what about what the numbers cannot tell you? The key insight is that automation lacks human context. What if a sales spike is just a one-time bulk order? You will get projections that are wildly optimistic. Here's what's really happening: you are missing the story, and that story changes everything. But you cannot use yesterday's model for today's market. The key insight is that a static rule set becomes a liability when conditions shift. What this means is your automated analysis grows blind to new risks or opportunities. You'll be confidently executing a strategy built for a world that no longer exists. That's the silent failure of a rigid framework. Claude AI can automate up to 97% of repetitive financial analysis work. The key is building robust prompt templates and reliable data pipelines. This isn't about replacing analysts, but empowering them with superhuman efficiency. Try automating one small part of your analysis workflow this week and see how much time you reclaim.